Good evening, everybody. My name is my name is Rhonda Ross. Now, for most of us, the writer Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie needs no introduction. Her novels and essays, which explore themes like gender, race, and class, have touched even the most ardent skeptics. Her book, We Should All Be Feminists, became an instant classic by utilizing frank and heartfelt approaches relatable to people all over the world. It has been distributed far and wide to all Swedish school children and in pop songs and throughout the global South, where women see their own lives depicted in her pages. Yes, yes. Because of Chimamanda, more people and more diverse people have been brought into the movement. The best introduction to Chimamanda is through her own words. So, tonight, we offer you this community special reading. These readers represent thousands worldwide who have been impacted by Chimamanda's words. Imagine.
Imagine how much happier we would be, how much freer to be our true individual selves if we didn't have the weight of gender expectations. 52% of the world's population is female, but most of the positions of power and prestige are occupied by men.
That made sense 1,000 years ago.
Because then, human beings lived in a world in which physical strength was the most important attribute for survival.
Today, we live in a vastly different world. The person more qualified to lead is not the physically stronger person. It is the more intelligent,
the more knowledgeable,
the more creative,
the more innovative.
Our world has evolved, but our ideas of gender have not evolved very much.
We spend too much time teaching girls to worry about what boys think of them.
But the reverse is not the case. We don't teach boys to care about being likable.
We tell girls that they cannot be angry or aggressive or tough, which is bad enough. But then we turn around and either praise or excuse men for the same reasons.
Boys and girls are different, but socialization exaggerates the differences and then starts a self-fulfilling process.
Take cooking, for example. Today, women are more likely to do housework than men, cooking and cleaning. I was going to say that perhaps women are born with a cooking gene until I remembered that the majority of famous cooks in the world who are given the fancy title of chef are men.
If we see the same thing over and over again, it becomes normal.
If we see the same thing over and over again, it becomes normal.
If we see the same thing
over and over again, it becomes normal.
If we see the same thing over and over again,
it becomes normal.
If we see the same thing over and over again, it becomes normal.
If only boys are made class monitor, then at some point we will all think, even if unconsciously, that the class monitor has to be a boy.
If we keep seeing only men as heads of corporations,
it starts to seem natural that only men should be heads of corporations.
Gender matters everywhere in the world.
Gender matters
everywhere in the world.
And I would like to ask today that we should begin to dream and plan for a different world, a world of happier men and women who are truer to themselves, and this is how we start.
We must raise our daughters differently.
We must also raise our sons differently.
Some men feel threatened by the idea of feminism. This comes, I think, from the insecurity triggered by how boys are brought up, how their sense of self-worth is diminished if they are not naturally in charge as men.
Other men say things might have been bad in the past, but everything is fine now. And so they do nothing to change it.
Gender, as it functions today, is a grave injustice. I am angry. We should all be angry. Anger has a long history of bringing about positive change. But I am also hopeful because I believe deeply in the ability of human beings to remake themselves for the better.
I used to look at my grandmother, a brilliant woman, and wonder what she would have been if she'd had the same opportunities as men during her youth. Today, there are more opportunities for women than there were during my grandmother's time because of changes in policy and law, which are very important.
What matters even more is our attitude, our mindset. Some people ask,
why the word feminist?
Why not just say that you're a believer in human rights or something like that?
Because that would be dishonest. Of course, feminism is part of human rights in general. But to choose to use the vague expression human rights is to deny the specific and particular parts of gender.
It would be a way of pretending that it was not women who have, for centuries, been excluded.
It would be a way of denying that the problem of gender targets women.
That the problem was not about being human,
but specifically about being a female human.
It is only fair that the solution to the problem acknowledge that. Culture does not make people, people make culture.
If it is true that the full humanity of women is not our culture, then we can and must make it our culture.
We make it our culture.
All of us, women and men, must do better.
All of us.
All of us.
Women
All
and
of us.
men.
Women and men must do better. We should all be feminists.